in this lesson, and this is something that we have been doing for about the last week. However, you might be checking out this video later in the year, which is awesome too, just as a refresher. So at whatever point you're watching this video, I just want to say I appreciate you for taking the time to further your learning and make sure that you're really understanding our skills. So we're going to be talking about multiplying one-digit numbers by 2- and 3-digit numbers. Okay, so this is kind of a review lesson, but we are going to walk through the steps, making sure that we understand each step, why we do each step, and then we're going to do some practice problems together, okay? One thing that I would like to make sure that you have available to you is your multiplication table. So I'm going to scroll over here. This multiplication table is available to you in your Google Classroom. You can always access this under the classwork tab. Please make sure that you use this when you're multiplying large numbers, because we don't ever want to spend all of our time and all of our energy working through a math problem just to make a little math mistake, right? So we know that multiplying large numbers takes time and it takes effort, right? So make sure that you are using your multiplication table. If you need to check, just to, maybe double check, make sure that you have your basic fact correct before you go through and do the whole problem. Okay, so we'll refer to this throughout the lesson, but we are going to follow our steps and we're going to be multiplying using the standard algorithm. We know that algorithm is just a fancy word for a way of doing something. So it's the standard way of multiplying. Okay, this is just how we multiply one-digit numbers. So we're going to start with a 2-digit number. So let's write this down. I encourage you to write this in your notebook. I'm going to do 27 times 5. 27 times 5. And step 1 tells us to put the larger number on top of the smaller number and line them up by place value. So you can see that I put 27 on top, I put 5 on the bottom, and I want to make sure that I'm lined up correctly and my place values are lined up correctly. So if I just draw a line down the center here, I know that over here I have the ones place, and I'll even write ones place for you just so that you can see that. I have the ones place. And then over to the left, right, my 7 and my 5 are in the ones place. The 2 would be in the tens place. So I'll just write the tens place up here too. Now, this is not something that you have to do. You don't have to label your place values when you're multiplying. But if you would like to, if it makes it easier for you, please do that. Okay. So we have our place values lined up. Our ones place is lined up perfectly. All right. So I can check off step 1. Step 1 is done. Check. All right. Step 2, I need to multiply the ones places together. I need to multiply the ones places together. So remember, when we're multiplying, our goal is to multiply our small digit, our small number 5, by both of the digits in my larger number. So I'm going to be multiplying this 5 by the 7, then I'm going to be multiplying the 5 by the 2. So first I need to multiply our ones places together. We always start in the ones place. Now, if you want to just maybe draw an arrow up to the 7, if you want to circle the 5 and the 7, if you want to box it off, whatever you want to do to help you understand that you have to multiply the 5 times the 7, please do that. And then I like to write my problem over here on the right-hand side. So 5 times 7 is the multiplication problem that I'm going to do. Right? And I know that 5 times 7 is 35. Now, if you're someone who maybe didn't know that 5 times 7 is 35, we can count by 5 7 times, right? Or we can check our handy dandy multiplication table. So if I come over here and I'm trying to find what 5 times 7 is, I would find 5 on the left-hand side times 7 up top, and I would move myself over and down until they both landed on one number. 5 times 7 is 35, or 7 times 5 is 35, right? And I did go over how to read a multiplication table I can make another video on it too if need be. However, what you're basically doing is you are counting by 5 7 times, or you're counting by 7 5 times. So if you check this out, this would be like 7 times 0 is 0, 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28, and 7 times 5 is 35, right? So you can kind of count down, count over, but where they meet is the product. So 5 times 7 is 35. But if I go back over here, I can't put 35 in the ones place, right? I know that 35 ones is equivalent to having 5 ones and 3 tens, right? If we look at our place value, this is 3 tens and 5 ones. So I'm going to put my 5 in the ones place. This 5 is going to go in the ones place because in the number 35, it has 5 ones. So you need to respectfully put those 5 ones in the ones place. Now, these 3 tens that I have over here, let me circle these 3 tens for you. These 3 tens, I need to make sure that they get carried over into the tens place. So I'm going to carry over my 3 tens into the tens place. And I'm going to circle those 3 tens because we're going to be doing something different with those 3 tens. We're not going to be multiplying them because really, when I'm thinking about this problem, I know that 35, I need to put that 3 in the tens place, but I haven't multiplied my tens place yet, so I need to kind of just hang tight and wait to add those 3, okay? So multiply the ones place together. We did that already. Check. We got 35. We put the 5 in the ones place and carried the 3 tens. Now for step 3, it says multiply the ones place by the tens place. So I'm going to take these 5 ones that I have and I'm going to multiply them by the 2 tens. Again, if you want to draw arrows, if you want to circle the 2 and the 5, however you would like to do this to make it easier and visually pleasing for you is fine. I'm just going to draw arrows because it's a little bit neater. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 5 times 2. Multiply 5 times 2. And I know that 5 times 2 is 10. I can count by 5s, 5, 10. I can count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But 5 times 2 is 10. Or I could also check my multiplication chart. Now let's finish reading step 3. So step 3 says multiply the ones place by the tens place. We did that. Now it says add, keyword here, add any carried digit to your product. So my product was 10. 5 times 2 is 10. Now I need to take those 10 and I need to add any number that I carried over. Did we carry over any numbers here? Yes, we did. We carried over a 3. We carried over 3 tens. So 10 plus 3 more would be equal to 13. So now I have 13 tens. 13 tens. 13 tens, I know, is equivalent to saying I have 130, right? 13 tens. That would be 10 tens is 100 and 3 tens is 30. So 100 plus 30 is 130. Now, being that I don't have any other numbers to carry over or do anything, I can just bring the 13 down. But I do want you to realize that this is a new place value that you've created. So this 1 is now in the hundreds place, this 3 is in the tens place, and this 5 is in the ones place. So our product is 135. Our product is 135. Now, step 4 is for if we have a 3-digit number, so we're going to do that example next. However, we just did a 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication problem where we had to regroup and carry over some numbers, and we're done. 135 is our product. Okay, so I'm going to erase this and we're going to do another example, but we're going to do a 3-digit number now instead of just a 2-digit number. So again, I encourage you to write these in your notebook, please. So let's do 513 times 4. 513 times 4. And again, step 1 tells me to make sure that my numbers are lined up. My place value, my larger number is on top of my smaller number. So I put 503 on top, 4 on the bottom. And now we're going to go through and multiply each place value. So again, remember, we're taking this 4 and we're multiplying it by all 3 of the digits in my big number. But we start in the ones place. So first we'll start by multiplying my ones places together, and I'll do 4 times 3. So over here on the right-hand side, I'm just going to write 4 times 3. What is 4 times 3? Yell it out, shout it out. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, in the number 12, I know that I have 2 ones, which is why my 2 ones are going to be put in my ones place. And I have 1 10. So I'm going to carry that 1 10 into the tens place. All right, step 2 is done. Perfect. Let's go to step 3. Step 3 says to multiply my ones place by the tens place. So now I need to multiply my ones digit, which is the 4, by the tens place of my bigger number. So 4 times 1, I just know that's 4, right? Always, we could check our multiplication table if we need it, but we all should know that 4 times 1 is 4. Now, don't forget, we need to add any carried digit to our product. So 4 times 1 is 4, but I need to add this one that I carried over. So 4 plus 1 more is equal to 5. So 4 plus 1 more is equal to 5. So I'm going to bring the 5 down here into the tens place. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. All right, step 3 is done. Now I need to look at step 4 because this is a 3-digit number, so I'm not done yet. I need to now multiply the ones place by the hundreds place. So I'm going to take my 4 and multiply it by the digit that's in the hundreds place, which is a 5. So 4 times 5, let's count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 times 5 is 20. Now, I don't have any other digits in my larger numbers. There's nothing that I can carry over. So I'm done. I just bring this 20 down. I look at where my comma belongs because look, I have a ones, tens, hundreds. Now I need to put my comma to separate my thousands place. And my product is 2,052. Okay, so following the steps is super important when we're multiplying. And also if you feel like you need to draw arrows, or even if you feel like you need to circle, so let's say like we do 4 times 3, then we do 4 times 1, and then we do 4 times 5, right? If you have to circle, please do that. Whatever helps you remember your steps. Always, again, refer to them. Make sure that you're reading them over. And you'll get better as we practice, okay? You'll get better as we practice. So I encourage you to do these 2 problems on your own. I'm going to write 2 problems out on my whiteboard. I encourage you to pause the video and go ahead and do these on your own. And then once you're finished, you can unpause and I will give you the answers. So the 2 problems I posed are 367, my apologies, 367 times 2 and 29 times 7. So go ahead and pause the video, work these 2 problems out in your notebook, and then when you're ready to hear the answers, unpause and I'll walk through the answers with you. All right, so you should have done these on your own. I'm just going to walk through how to do them and how you should have got your products. So for the first one, I would follow the steps. I would multiply 2 times 7. I knew that 2 times 7 is 14. So I'm going to bring the 4 down and I'm going to carry the 1 into the tens place. I'm then going to do 2 times 6. I know that 2 times 6 is 12, but I need to add that 1 that I carried. So 12 plus 1 more is 13. So I'm going to bring the 3 from the 13 down and carry the 1 into the hundreds place. Now, last but not least, I need to do step 4, which is multiplying my 2 by my hundreds place. So 2 times 3 I know is 6, but I have to add that one more that I carried. So 6 plus 1 more is equal to 7. So my product, the product you should have got for the first one, is 734. Give yourself a pat on the back or kiss your brain if you got that correct. And if you didn't get it correct, I encourage you to go back and see where your mistake was, okay? Let's take a look at 29 times 7. 29 times 7. So again, I start in the ones place. I'm going to multiply 9 times 7. If you need to draw an arrow or circle it, actually, I'm going to circle it for this one so you can see. So 9 times 7, I know that 9 times 7 is 63. Well, 63 has 3 ones, so the 3 go in the ones place, and 6 tens, so I'm going to carry the 6 into the tens place. Now I'm going to multiply 7 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14, but I have to add these 6 tens that I carried over. So 14 tens plus 6 tens is equal to 20 tens. 20 tens, which is also equal to 200, which is why the 2 is in the hundreds place. So 203 is my product for 29 times 7, okay? Come back to this video, watch this video, do some practice problems on your own, guys, and I encourage you just to keep practicing. You'll only get good at this, you'll only master this with a ton of practice. So make sure you guys are practicing, writing in your math notebook, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.